Okay, we enter the array part. Okay, I just briefly introduce this. This is what we call a set of datas, and even an array itself is a variable. Later on, you will see this variable, but this variable contains many variables inside. So we will do as previously. Okay, we introduce a new data type. Then we will teach you how to initialize them. Okay, how to read, how to write, as well as how to print it out. Okay, later on we will have ways to talk about it. And with arrays, basically we will associate array with functions. So we will pass into a functions and do some operations. And the one part that I'm afraid that I cannot go too fast is one thing, okay, as so happen it's called example in this PowerPoint, okay, it's not example, okay, it's something that you really need to know. We call it sorting, means ordering, okay, we have a set of numbers, I ask you to order it, okay, so you can imagine that while I'm doing a presentation here, say I have 4 numbers, okay, how can you establish a way to order it, okay, and every time it will give you correct results. Okay, then we will go into another topic, which is shorter. This is the part that I'm afraid I cannot finish today. It's about 2D array. So 2D array means that you set up a matrix. Basically, you can set up a 2D matrix. I don't know what is the dimension, and n times the m. Okay, n is not necessarily equal to m. Okay, so there is a rectangle. Okay, so how to set up this rectangle in C? Okay. So let's go. Basically, I already introduced a part of it. An ordinary variable before we talk about it is a box. Okay. So what is actually an array? An array is a big cabinet. Okay. So you can treat this as an item. Treat this as well as an item containing many items. So the array itself is one variable containing many variables, and usually we will give some notation first. And what a notation? Now remember that if you have heard of or learned other languages, C has some problem. And the problem is, first of all, the array size. Okay? So what is the meaning of array size? It means that how many drawers in this cabinet. Okay? In C, okay, once you declare it, say there how many drawers here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 drawers. Once you said that, okay, I want to create a cabinet of 10 drawers. In C, you cannot extend it. Say, oh, 10 is not enough. Suddenly I find it's not enough. Can I extend it? Sorry, no. You can extend it. Okay? And the reverse part is how can I compress it or shake it or remove some items? No. Okay? Once you set there is 10 items, then it will be 10 items forever. Okay, this is one issue that you have to remember. Okay, and usually when I draw an array or present an array, usually we will have an index. Okay, now it's why previously we always teach you to do for loop. The loop usually start with I equals 0 because in array now this every language is the same. The starting point, this first element is usually 0. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. If you have 5 elements, it will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 5. No, the fifth one is the number 4. Okay, no number 5. Okay? So, this is one thing that's every programming language share. The size, remember, it cannot change. Okay, it remains unchanged. So, what is an array? I said that an array is an element containing many elements. So in your right is an ordinary program that you have written before. So we have 3 variables ABC. If you really want to say initialize all of them, you cannot use it for loop, right? Because there are 3 different elements. I want to initialize it. Maybe the first one is 0, second one 0, third one is 0. Okay, you cannot just for loop say, oh, can I for variable ABC all equal to 0? No, you cannot do it. Okay, but with arrays, array means say this notation. Now that's why I said that don't use square bracket because square bracket has a meaning now. The square bracket means that in the initialization part, okay? So let's go. It means you create an array. Create, okay? And when you create an array, now this is a, if you have heard of other programming language, this is another thing that C is different. You cannot put in variable inside this bracket in the initialization. Now remember, initialization means that I create an array of 3 slots. In this example, 3. So you can put in 10, 11, or 1,000. Okay, I try. Okay, how? I mean, try not in this course, in other courses. Okay, I teach people over operating system limits. I can create an array of 2 GB, no problem. Yeah, 2 GB array size. Okay, so that means that there's nearly no limit. Okay, and what is the real limit? If you enter CS, okay, I will tell you. Okay, in my operating system course, so you can assume that it can be a finite number which is sufficiently large for every program. I said that you can create an array for 2 GB. Okay, now think about it, how many numbers you need to fit in 2 GB. And you can count. Okay, I mean you count all people's here with also hairs. Okay, you cannot count the number of. Okay, so it will be very big. Okay, can I create an empty array with 0 length? No. Okay, the length at least is 1. Okay, at least it's 1, and the upper limit is the nearly no limit. Okay, you can assume that it's 2 GB. Okay, by the way, what is 2 GB? Yeah, let me type that numbers out. Okay, you don't need to know how to type how to calculate number. This is this number. Okay, so approximately this number of element is the limit. Okay, you don't need to remember it. Okay, but you already know that this is a very big number. Okay. So what is the meaning now? The meaning is with one line of code here, you initialize a bunch of elements. Okay, you actually create 3 different elements, and how to assess them? To assess them, now this become different now. To assess them, you also use number here, but this number here means I refer to, say, 0, means the first item. Okay, now initialization has a number, it means the size. And when you use it for reading and for writing, now it becomes you assess that element. If it is on the right-hand side of the assignment statement right-hand side, it means you take the value out. If it's on the left-hand side of the assignment statement, that is left-hand side, okay, it means you try to update its values, and that's all. Okay, so you can treat this as, this A0 is an ordinary variable. Okay, now this is array. With this, you will understand that suddenly know that, basically we can set up a very huge amount of elements. Okay, we can use it for loop. Okay, basically I ask you for input 10 numbers, okay, and print them out. Okay, now you don't need to set up 10 variables. Okay, which is stupid, right? Or I tell you, hey, please add the 10 numbers, okay, and the 10 numbers please order them in ascending order. Okay, then you know how to do it. Okay, but of course I didn't tell you how to do the ordering. So doing scanf and printf just the same as before. Treat this as a simple element, simple variable. Any questions? Okay, no questions. Yeah. So this is just a definition. Okay, you have the type. Basically, it's not just integer. You can create an array of doubles, array of floats, array of integer. I can't remember where did I tell you about unsigned. Yes, you can create a set of unsigned elements. Okay, but you cannot create an array of hybrid. Okay, I mean a mix of different types. I want to have a first array element. Okay, is an integer, and I want the second element become a float. Okay, this is not possible. Okay, all arrays elements should be of the same type. This is rule number 1. Okay, so that's why we will usually write in this way. If you need 2 different types, okay, please create 2 different arrays. Okay. Now go on. Stop me if you find it hard to understand. Okay. Now just tell you that there's a set of elements will be created with just one line of code. So usually we will couple means put them together, couple array with loops. Okay, and that's why we usually start with I equals 0, because we just try to fit the array starting elements. Wow, starting elements. I cannot stand too close there. Maybe I turn the volume down. Better. Okay. So you can couple the array with loops. Now I will type with you. Okay. Now let's take a look what is this things about. Basically, this big program, okay, is to do one thing, ask you to enter a set of numbers, okay, and then reverse them, okay. So I will type it. You don't need to look at the code and try to understand how I figure out how to type the program out. Okay. So remember that our goal is to reverse the number you enter. So basically, you have to remember the numbers first, right? I asked you to type in 4 numbers and then reverse. You cannot forget them. You have to store them first, okay? So you have to store them. So that's why I said that 4 numbers. I will say that this is called integer array. I make a long name here. So 4. And this is 4. Means there's 4 elements. Okay, so I need an I integer to do the looping, right? I said that usually we use I means iteration because, okay. Now, this is close to what I want about variables numbers. Then I will start with the loop because I want to memorize the numbers that you enter. So I will do a for loop. Okay. So you will be curious that, oh, I type 4 here. So can I avoid typing 4 here? Let's say that, oh, do I have any functions to look up the size of an array? Okay, so that, yeah, I don't need to type 4 everywhere. Okay, and the answer is no. Now this is the bad things about array. Okay, in C, array, once you declare it, the language itself will forget about the size. Okay, it's the programmer's job to remember the size. So basically, I will write down 4 here. If I'm a good programmer, I will try to avoid too many hard codes. I will declare a size variable, okay, a size variable equal to 4, so that a later code I just refer to the variable. Then if I suddenly find that, oh, 4 is not enough, I need to recompile the program to make it into 40. So I just need to choose the array size to be 40 and this size to be 40. Just change 2 lines of code. You don't need to change too many lines. Okay, remember this. This is a good practice to save the size. Now with the size saved, I will scan the element. Okay, because I said that I will ask you for 4 numbers. I asked you for the 4 numbers. So to access the integer array element, okay, I will start looping from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, no 4, okay, 0, 1, 2, 3. So that means that I will have the variable names for different elements now, plus 1 more, okay, because it's a scanf. Scanf, you need the ampersand. Now, this is the end of getting of the elements, okay, so how to do the reverse? I want to print the reverse order. Say I input 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I ask you for 4, 3, 2, 1 to get output. So basically, you need another loop, okay? This is one version. Okay, this is one version. I will try to assess. Let me write up the table on the whiteboard. So the table is like this. This is the index. Okay, 0, 1, 2. Yes, this garbage. 哎呀，状况。1, 2, 3. Okay. So this is the index. So let's say my input is, I just come up with some random numbers. 9, 7, 13, or numbers. Okay, here are even numbers. Okay, so let's say I type in this. When I scan, I will do this direction, right? From 0 to 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, not 4, okay? Up to 4, then I will quit the loop. Then in the reverse, I want to set up the order from 3, 2, and then down to 0. So that's why I write the loop like this. This is my printing loop. Starting from a size is equal to 4, size equal to 4, but the last element is not 4. The last element is the size minus 1. Okay, so I set up the loop like this. My printing start with size minus 1 and end with what? End with 0. So I have to set up the equations that are, oh, the inequality is bigger than or equal to 0. Okay, oh, I forgot about this. Print them. Okay, how to access this? Very simple. Integer array I. Okay, so although both loop bodies, I said that it's I, but I basically access it in two different ways based on the control of the looping. Okay, so let's go. Mixed test, so compilation, no problem, no complaints. Okay, so I type in the thing on the whiteboard, 9, 7, 13, and 2. See? It will just do the reverse printing. Okay? So no problem. Basically, you can do the same thing with 4 different variables. Okay? But the length of the program will become horrible. Right? If it becomes a 4 variable, A, B, C, D, then you will write, oh, this is scanf for A and B and C and D 4 lines. And then 4 more lines for printing A, B, C, D to reverse it, D, C, B, A. Right? This is not possible. So basically, if I want you to repeat something and store them up, usually we will use array. Okay? I said that this program can be now easily be changed into different size because I write it this way. I set up a variable called size. So I can change it. Say, this time I don't input 4 variables, I input 5 now. Okay, I input 5. Now, this program will accept 5 numbers now. Let's go. Make. I just come up with some random numbers. Randomly click the keyboard. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so is it reversed? Let's check. Where is my laser? Oh, here. Okay, so it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So reverse is 45. Good. Good. 98. Good. 987. Good. And then 9. The last one is 1, 2, 3. Okay. So this is how to basically use a simple for loop to do the things. Okay. Any question you want to ask? Any questions? Good. Okay. So look at the PowerPoint. The PowerPoint is a different thing, okay? Very different from what I just wrote there. The printing loop, okay? The loop beginning, okay? The for loop line is just the same as the input loop, okay? My version is the reverse, right? My version is one is from small to big numbers, and then the big number down to the small number, okay? So basically, this is 2 ways to control it. Some people love to control the index. Okay, say this guy set up our equations here to convert. Say with your I is a 0. When I equals 0, basically I want to print out the element 3. So how to convert 0 to 3? So this is the equation. Okay, so what it says, that means the size minus I minus 1. Okay, and go down until this number will go from 0, 1, 2, and 3. So for 3, then it becomes 4 minus 3 minus 1 is 0. Okay, so there's 2 ways to set it up. I personally prefer this. Okay, I mean for you also. Okay, because usually you will you will perform better doing counting, okay? But perform not so good at changing this into equations. Okay, so I usually suggest people to do this kind of looping instead of doing a complex and a little bit complex basically to compute the index out. Okay, any questions? No? Okay, so some interesting example. Yeah, don't try. Don't try. I mean, you can try, okay? I will try for you. Okay, but basically this two are undefined behavior. What is the meaning of undefined behavior? C is a powerful language. How powerful it is? It may accept your faults. It may accept your faults. So this basically is a fault. -1. Oh. -1. So what is -1? Does it mean that, oh, I have a 0, 1, 2, 3. So -1 means that, oh, 0, -1, oh, so that means 3? No. Other language is this behavior. Some language means, oh, -1, that means, oh, go back. No. In C, it doesn't mean this. In C, it means here. Wow, what's that? Yeah, -1 means here. Here is called index. No. Okay, this is the way that I write it. Okay, in C, basically it will access some imaginary data. Okay, some data you cannot predict what does it mean about. Okay, so another thing is here. What is the meaning here? What is the meaning of out of bound? Now let's do the counting. I have 10 elements. The first element number is 0, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 10 elements starting from 0 up to 9. So the number 10 is another case that it is a wrong number. Okay, so back to my whiteboard example. Okay, basically you will enter something beyond the valid zone. Then what will happen? What will happen? Okay, I promise you I will try. Okay. Yeah, so let's have 5 elements here. I don't know what will happen. Don't ask me. Yeah, because it's undefined. Okay, array. I access -1. Okay, so let's set number 100. Okay, so how about another way? I just try to go out of bound. Maybe let's think of a more horrible number. Yeah, 50,000. Yeah, let's go further. Okay, and equal to 100. Okay, so printf OK. So let's see whether OK will appear or not. Okay, if OK don't appear, that means that the program crash. Okay, with these 2 lines. If OKs appear, then it means that the program accept you write this kind of thing. Okay, oops. So there's something imaginary, yeah? So I saved it, compile. Wow, it's start complaining, huh? So what is the first complaint? The first complaint is array index -1 is before the beginning of the array. Okay, so Mac is better. I assume Microsoft don't report this. Okay, so it just tell you that, yeah, this is a warning. Okay, warning, not an error. Okay, usually if you have warning, the compilation will go on. Okay, so another warning, array index 50,000 is past the end of the array. So originally, these 2 guys are wrong, and the compiler find that it is wrong, but still it go on with the compilation process and don't report any errors. If it is error, that means the compilation process stop. So compiler accept you. How about when I run it? Okay, I run it now. It accepts. Wow, cool, huh? So I will say write OK. Now how about read? Read it out. -1. Integer array. Okay, so add one more printf called read OK. if that is okay, I think that I don't need to teach anymore. Okay. So I predicted it will crash. That's my prediction. Oh, of course I didn't try before I come to this lecture. I mean this number, okay? I tried bigger number, then it will die. Wow, 4 warnings, okay? Because you know that this just repeat what I did wrong, okay? In line 5 and 6, line 10 and 11 are also wrong lines. Now, okay. Exciting moment, huh? What? Oh, okay. Still some problem. I just afraid that I need to resign. Okay. Yeah. So of course there are some problem. Can you see the numbers that print out? Are they 100? Yo. Afraid that they just print out 100. They are that. Okay. They won't print out what you expect, right? So I said that this is an undefined behavior. This behavior is totally nonsense, right? Nonsense, and they then give you some nonsense. You input something wrong, I give you something wrong. It's totally unpredictable. Okay? So remember this. If you do your programming, write your code, test your code, and suddenly find that why the results becoming so interesting. Yeah, it's totally out of imagination. Okay, some numbers that you never expected to appear, or it just not agree with what I just talk about. So check whether you access into this area, whether your array go too far, or your array use a negative index. This may be a source of your bug, and you can see that the compilation won't stop it, the execution won't stop. Read OK is rich. So in something here, okay, still allows you to access the element, but give you some interesting results. Okay? So I don't think there's really a problem. The problem is I tell you there are problems. Okay? Now, how to initialize it? I just try one way using scanf. What if you want to hard code? Okay, your hard code means that I want to set up numbers, okay, with default warnings and come with your code, not come from your user. Okay. To initialize it, there is only one way. Okay, the way they set up a pair of curly braces. Okay, this is the only way, pair of curly braces, and write down the number of elements you want. Okay, say you want 5 numbers, then I set up 5 numbers here. Okay, so this declaration, remember this declaration, declaration of the array, not the writing and the reading of the array. Now, what's next is what happened to these 2 guys? Huh? I just have 1 element. So let's try it out. So this garbage code, I can fold them array. Okay, too horrible. Huh? Remove that. Okay, so I set up 2 arrays. One is called A, one is called B. Or maybe it's 3, okay, 3 arrays, A, B, and C. Okay, so I want to set up the 3 examples, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this will initialize the array 5 element into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And how about this? B and C. Okay, C, maybe I set it to -1. Okay, so what is the meaning? The meaning is I set up the first element to be 0, and how about the later one? I don't care. The line 6 means I set up the first element to -1, the later one I don't care. Okay. So let's do it. I missed the variable I. Okay, so this is a printf array A. Okay, the first array. So I'll print it. Remember, I will hard code the size, but for the sake of the code easy to maintain. Okay, so don't use 5. Set up a variable to store it. Okay. So I will print %d and then AI. So what I'm going to do, I just want to prove that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is written to the array A. Okay. So give her a line here. Okay, so I will do the same thing for C and array B and array C. Array B and array C. Okay, so what will you expect? I will expect that A will have an array 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. B, the first element is 0. Others, I don't know, because I didn't talk about it. The third line will be the first element is -1. Others, I don't know. Okay? So let's try that. Okay, so the first element, the first array, not anyway. First array 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no problem. Second array, the first element is 0. Others remain 0. Third, the C, the first element is -1. Others will be 0. So basically, if you have an array set up, you don't say any values to that array elements. It will be 0. Okay, but don't rely on this property. Okay, we don't know from which year suddenly there is a compiler do something wrong. Okay, it just initializes into another values. So for good practice, I will initialize the array myself. Okay. So let's do another example. Another example is I still have these 3 guys. I don't know. I didn't try before. How about 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I have something like this. Yeah. Basically, there's a. Suppose that I'm writing 0 here. Suppose I write 0 here, but I remove some of them. Okay. So can I do this? Let's try. Let's try. Okay. So what will happen? You cannot do this. See? You cannot leave a hole there. Okay? Basically, if you try to initialize some elements, okay, then better do it in a hard code way. So what is the meaning of doing hard code? Doing hard code means that clean up back to this normal way. Okay? Hard code means that you want to set up the middle one to be a 1. So you hard code a line so as to initialize it. Okay? Don't come up with some crazy code. Now the PowerPoint has one more example. Okay? I don't want to type it now. This one more example is basically you don't know the length. You don't want to type in the length. Okay? But you type in a set of numbers. Then the compiler is very clever. If you type in 5 numbers, it will initialize it into 5. If it's 10 numbers, it will give you 10. But problem comes. I tell you there is no good way to ask, hey, how big is this array? There's no such a good way. So if you write code like this, basically you cannot know what exactly the size of this array to be. Okay? So I seldom do this. Okay? I seldom do this because to me this is useless. Okay, so how to work with functions? Okay? Last time we talked about functions. Functions are I don't know whether you get a good memory about this. Okay, we get a passing numbers. Okay, when I pass in numbers, basically I will write int sub numbers here. Okay, but how about array? Okay, basically we can pass in an array. When I pass in an array, I will state that to the functions that okay, I give it an array. So to tell the function that there is an array, you have to write square bracket. And how about the size? You don't need to specify that. You don't need to. Okay. So in setting up a function that play with array. Now remember one thing. I said that no good way to look for the size of an array. Okay. This is what I just said. So when you write functions, okay, concerning array, we need to pass in the size also. Now this is the practice. It's not required by C. Okay, you can omit it and hard code the size. Okay, but the good practice is you pass in a way. Tell me what is the size of it. I will give you at least 3 examples to play with arrays. Now the first example is, let's say that I will clean this up. Okay, let's say I have this array. I want to set up a function to print it out. Okay, now to print it out, basically you need for loop, okay, and the variable I. Okay, some people just don't want to set up too many variables in the main functions. They want to create the functions to help me to print it. Okay, so let's say that this function prints all elements of an array. Okay, so let's call it print array. So when I say that I just want to print something, basically you don't expect any return value, right? The printing won't fail, okay? Or the printing won't give you some numbers. Oh, I print out 5 numbers. Okay, can we return 5? No, we don't need it. So basically, you will set a void and the input array. Okay, remember this. There's a hollow square bracket. Okay. What's next? It's array size. So I love to call it size. Okay. Now this is the functions. Now remember that inside the function we can set up we call local variables. The variables are just for the function only, so we call it local. Local variables, we can set up a iteration index I, and then loop it from 0 smaller than size, and print it out. Okay, so array I. Oh. Okay, so after I print out the list of numbers, so this loop body is just print out a list of numbers with one line. So at the end, I just add a new line back. Okay? So with this, I set up a function. I can print an array now. Print array. I give an A. The size is 5. Okay. Let's create one more. Maybe a B. There are 3 elements only. So 3 elements. I just type in random things. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 3 random numbers. Okay. So one more line to print the B array. Okay. Compile, no problem. Run, yeah. We have something like this. Okay. Now this is simple, right? Just I just replace a bunch of printing codes, and become functions. Okay. This is a bunch of printing codes. Okay. Any problem? Sure, no problem, huh? Now I give you a task. Okay. You first think of it. Okay. For a little while. The task is, I have an array of numbers. Tell me its average. How to do it. And the way is to write a function to calculate an average. How to do it, huh? Yeah, I will copy and paste this construct first, and you tell me what are the things that I need to change. Okay. So I copy and paste the construct. So I will say this function calculates the average of elements in array. Okay. I just try to do this. So now I will ask you piece by piece. I have 2 inputs. Right, I want to calculate average. So the input number 1 is an array, no problem, right? I need the size. Any more elements that I need to fit into this parameter list? Is it enough? I want to calculate the average. I need the numbers. I also need to know how many numbers. So do I need more? So what are the more things that I need? One variable. For what?
For average or the sum?
For storing the average. Good. Okay. This classmate tells us that we need a variable to set up there so that I can report to the outside world that what is the average, or store the average. Okay. So basically, can I fit in here? Basically, you don't need to. Okay. You don't need to. It can become a variable. I just miss out the type. Okay, later you tell me the type. Okay, type. Okay, and this is not array. Okay, just say that this is a type. Okay, storing the average. Okay, so later on now, after we have set up this average value, I can return it out. Okay, so it's not gonna be put in here. Okay, I return the results to tell the outside world that what is the average number. Okay, so I will return it. Return the average out. Okay, and that means that maybe I change the name first. I change this to be a array average. Okay, I call it array average. Okay. So with this, I cannot set void anymore because void means I don't return anything. Okay, so I need to return it. Okay, there's a type here. Okay. So then tell me, what is the type? Yeah, you have many choices. Okay, integer, string. Oh no, they're string. Okay, array. Okay, array. I don't know why you open it. Right. Okay, array, integer, or double. Which one? Yeah, I see someone. Okay, so yeah, double. Okay, average is a real number. Okay, so you will return double. Okay, so this is how you think of a function, huh? So this is the average. Now inside this for loop, we will calculate the average out. Okay, how to do it? There are usually two methods to write it. Okay, I will tell you both. So first, what is the definition of average? Average means that I sum up all the elements and divide it by the number of elements, right? This is the definition. So I will do the things like this. Average equal to average plus array element. Okay? And after I sum up all the values, so this will be our adding zero element to the average, and 1, and then 2, and then I have how many? I have size minus 1. Okay? Then add it all together. Last thing. Okay, I'm a lazy guy. Okay. Like this. Right? Did I miss anything? At least I missed one thing. Can you spot what are the things that I missed? Yeah, what is that?
Average equal to 0.
Yeah, I missed average equal to 0. Thank you. Yeah, there should be an initialization of the average. Okay, so basically this is not called average. Don't call it average. Okay, basically I need to change the name here. It's basically a sum. Right, there's a sum. I just add up the sum, okay, and sum divided by size will be the average. Now, give you one question. Sum divided by size. Size is an integer. Will I end up with integer division? Oh, suddenly something that you may have forgot, right? Oh, integer division. Oh, integer divided by integer, then it will be integer division. Right? Now, take a look here. I use double here for the left-hand side of the operator of division, and the right-hand side of the operator of division is an integer. Double divided by an integer, the integer will be promoted into double. Okay, so it becomes double divided by double. Remember. So that's why this is a trick that played by me. Okay, I make this number to be a double intentionally, so that I don't need to do any casting or type conversion here. Okay, I basically rely on the auto conversion. Now this is way number 1. Okay, how about way number 2? Some people don't love to do the division at the end. Okay, they love to do division here. What is the meaning? I will do this and do this. and return average. Is it the same as the previous version? Can you spot what are the things that I changed? I changed this, okay? Not adding array element, but I add array divided by size. Is it the same? Yeah. Why? Why is it not the same?
Because array and size is integer.
Yes, integer division. Yeah, I just give you the solution, and some people say that, oh, they're the same. No, they're not the same. I set up a trap here. Okay? Yeah. So yeah, stay away. I usually put up some trap. Okay? So some people will have this way to write the function, but they suddenly forgot about integer division, and then they will calculate wrong and always complain that, oh, why I cannot do things like this. Okay? And because they have errors in their code. Okay? So basically you have to do the casting into the double. Okay. Then this is the correct code now. Okay? Don't forget, every time you do division, remember the both sides, are they both integer? If they both integer, okay, you will have integer division. Okay, so this is a function to calculate the average. So I will keep this version and try to print it out. So printf, say average from array A. Okay, will be equal to, oh, because it's double, so I will just present LF. Okay, array average, my array is A, and the size is 5. Good. Yeah, we can do this like, do things like this. You don't need a special variable to save the results. I just put the function call here. I call the function, and eventually it will become a value put back here. So I can save one variable. I don't need to say, oh, A average. No, we don't need a variable called A average. So I will repeat this. Okay, the array B. Okay, ready. Do the compilation now. No warning, no errors. Good. So let's do a finger counting. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 altogether is a 15, and then 15 divided by 5 is 3. Good. So this is just a simple test, and here I don't know the results. Okay, you can check with your calculator. So happened today. No. This one plus this one. No. Something wrong here.
Only 3 edits.
Ah, right. Oh, I commit into a bug here. Okay. Only 3 O's. Did you see? I commit into this problem. I declare it's 3 elements, okay, but I divide by 5, okay, and the array computation don't complain, okay. It go on. It's as if there are 2 more elements and pick up 2 imaginary numbers for me. Wow. Ooh, cool. Okay. No errors. Yeah. Okay. This time is better. Oh, here. The printing only 3 numbers. 3 numbers. Wow. Ooh. Okay. So 3 numbers are. All right. This 3 altogether is 5. Yeah. Good. Okay. Whoa. So you can see this is very horrible. Even I also committed into this problem and need your help to debug it for me. Okay. So do you need a break? I have one more example. The example is locate the minimum number or the maximum number of an array. Okay. Maybe we have a break first. Break for 5 minutes. Okay. If you have any problem, come on and ask me. Okay. So 5 minutes.